Very good evening. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining the Bhagavad Gita Satsang, the way of life as described by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We'll be continuing chapter 6, the yoga of self-control, and we will be learning about detailed description of Dhyan Yoga. So yesterday, in the last satsang rather, we stopped at verse 12. In that, Lord Shri Krishna was teaching Arjuna how does the yogi sit in meditation and what is the method of going into dhyana, that is meditation. Now let us continue where we stopped. Chapter 6 verse 13. Holding the trunk, head and neck straight and steady, remaining firm and fixing the gaze on the tip of his nose without looking in other directions, firm in the vow of complete chastity and fearless, keeping himself perfectly calm and with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me, the vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. He has given a whole method. Now, how do you sit and what is the kind of posture you need to have? How should you concentrate and how should you practice this yoga is what Lord Shri Krishna has imparted to Arjuna. I will do a small recap. He's saying here, having firmly set his seat in a spot which is free from dirt and other impurities, with the sacred kusa grass, a deer skin, and a cloth spread thereon, one upon the other. That is kusa below, deer skin in the middle, and cloth uppermost, neither very high nor very low. And occupying that seat, concentrating the mind and controlling the functions of the mind and senses, he should practice yoga for self-purifications. So how do you sit in the right manner? What are the kind of seat you need to have? Why is this? Why Lord Shri Krishna is very specific about the seat that you sit? See, when you sit in a posture, please remember the energy from the Mooladhara, that is the base chakra, right? The bottommost chakra has to rise upwards. When you are doing meditation and concentrating, the energy flow has to go upwards. The energy should not get, it should not go downwards. That is why the seating is very important. So you sit very firmly in that position. And there is a method how do you sit as well. So the energy doesn't get dissipated and it gets channelized in evolving higher and higher so that you attain that yoga, which is union with the Divine Lord. And next is, he's saying, now what should you do? And occupy, okay, that we finished. Holding the trunk, head and neck straight. So how do you sit? The posture, right? You have to hold that's your trunk, your head, your neck, very straight. It has to be straight. You can't slouch and sit like this. No, you have to be straight. That posture is extremely important. And steady. You have to be very steady. You can't be lazy. You just cannot feel, oh, I just don't want to do it. You can't have those kind of attitude. Remaining firm is what you have to remain, and fixing the gaze on the tip of your nose. How do you meditate? He's giving one of the methods. You have to fix the gaze on the tip of your nose. You have to look, so both your eyes, it becomes cockeyed, just making fun. So you have to look at the tip of your nose, and that point is what you have to look at, without looking into other directions. So what is it you're trying to achieve through this, See, you're bringing the senses, the mind, everything, to a focus, that point. You're concentrating, and then what happens? You meditate. You're able to control everything. So you're channelizing everything in one direction alone. So your body is, you're trying, what is it you're practicing? Controlling your body, your mind and senses. And when you sit in that manner, it's a method to practice. It's a way. See, because otherwise, how will you control your body, mind and senses? You can't. So by doing this, at least you practice every day for 15 minutes or 20 minutes max, this yogi must be sitting in this posture for years together. So today, I know for sure that's next to impossible because we are unable to do so. Why? Because we are very, flimsy in our mind is fallible. It's too flimsy. It can't even sit for 5 minutes. Forget about 5 minutes. 2 minutes you can't concentrate. So where is the question of sitting in this posture for more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes? It's next to impossible. So first you begin at least doing for 10 minutes, then gradually increase your pay, the time, the duration. So then you can add 5 more minutes. So then you make it 15 minutes, then 5 more minutes, then you make 20 minutes. So like that you have to increase your ability to sit in that posture for a longer duration of time. And then what is he saying? Firm in the vow of complete chastity and fearless. Firm in the vow of complete chastity means what? You have to be the highest purity. You don't think bad about anybody. You don't think about, in your mind all sorts of wrong thoughts don't come. You are not having jealousy, malice or avarice towards others. You're not thinking about, hey, I hate this person, I want to kill you. You're not thinking about murdering somebody. Lord Shri Krishna teaches non-violence in thoughts, deeds and action. So you're not going to be thinking about somebody where you're going to kill him, murder him, all that. No. Chastity is what? The purity of thoughts within your heart, within your mind as well. For everybody in this world. It's just not for you alone. The thought, the goodness, we say, right, the goodness of heart, that love has to flow for everybody in this world in the same manner. In fact, in one of the verse, Lord Shri Krishna has taught that, how should we, let me read this out. How should we able to see everybody in the same manner? He's talking about he who looks upon well-wishers and neutrals, as well as mediators, friends and foes, relatives and inimicals, the virtuous and the sinful, with equanimity, stands supreme, which means you have to be able to look upon everybody in the same manner. Nobody is, dear to you, nobody is less dear or more dear to you. There is nothing like that. There are no biases. My Guruji, that's why he's the highest of who he is in this universe. Lord Shri Krishna. Nobody can, match him. There's nobody who can replace him. He's the ultimate. He's the only one. Why? Because imagine, you looking at this entire universe as your own, creation, your own children. It's very difficult, for a normal human being, because a mother can only have that love for her child alone. She doesn't see the same way somebody else's child, saying, oh, that is my son too. That love doesn't exist. Yeah, you might love your friends, your children's friends, okay? Oh, they are also like my children. You can say that. But having the same love towards them is next to impossible. But my Guruji does. That's why we call him Krishna Ma. He's the mother of entire universe. He's that mother. He's the father. He's everything of everything for us. At least for me. My Guruji is the ultimate. He's Krishna Guruji. He's a guru, he's a father, he's everything. And he looks upon everybody with an equal eye. There are no biases in this world, and he gives that which is good for each of his child. Only he knows what is good for me or any of his other disciples. So he knows what exactly to impart to them, whether it is knowledge or what to bestow upon them, that which they have to receive in their life. So he's not going to be biased. But how the world looks at, even you look at the Guru or even Lord Shri Krishna, people think he was biased. In one of the very beautiful scriptures called Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a chapter on Kunti. And in that, Kunti is saying to Lord Shri Krishna, the whole world thinks you are biased. The whole world thinks, you have differences with different people. But I know for sure that you don't have these differences, but that's how the world looks upon you. But does it matter? Does it change who Lord Shri Krishna is? Absolutely not. He is the ultimate of everything. He's the epitome of, love. He's love incarnate. He's the personification of everything that good exists in this universe. There is no adequate words, the adjectives to describe him. You can't comprehend him, using any English language. There are no words to describe his greatness. Even though I'm trying to express my, love and, I want to express my praise for him, I'm unable to do so. I can't even glorify him to that level I want to. What is, just pouring in my heart. I want to pour it out, but the words are not coming out even as we speak. So he's beyond comprehension of any words that I can explain his greatness. It's very difficult. That is why they say even the Vedas, Shastras, the yogis, everybody failed to describe his greatness. Nobody could, and there is nobody who can be ever born to describe his greatness. That is who he is. He is unfathomable. So what is he telling? He's telling that we should be able to look upon everybody with that equal eye. Can you do it? And see, these are the truth. This is how you have to be. But today we human beings don't live these beautiful lessons. We have forgotten our own beautiful scriptures. Nobody teaches Bhagavad Gita in our school. We all learn moral science, civic science, so many different subjects. Why is Bhagavad Gita not taught to us? Which is the basic scripture which teaches the way of life. Why are we not being imparted this beautiful knowledge? If you look at our education system, all the curriculum that is there is 200 years old, which it's not even valid today. What is the use of learning about some king in the history who came and, took over our, they conquered India and they took over our kingdom, so many different things we learn. But what use is it? Why can't we be imparted this knowledge as one subject in our curriculum? It's a question that I have. I wish I would have, understood this better right from my childhood. Today I would be somebody great. I'm not saying I'm not. It doesn't mean either. What I mean is that everybody would become a good human being. The goodness will always be growing. Today what is missing in our world is the goodness and the love. Both has gone out of the window. We've all become very isolated people. We don't know who's our neighbor. We don't smile at people. Like earlier, we would just go and walk into our neighbor's home and just have a simple, stupid conversation. We just would have a very general chit chat. But today that is not there. And nobody has time. And if you look at everybody, the moment they wake up, first of all, they don't wake up. Like my Guruji will say, you have to wake up at a certain hour. But you're waking up after that hour. Even sun has risen and everything is doing its perfect job. The universe, the nature, everything is working in clockwork precision. But we human beings are so lazy, we don't even get up in time. And when you wake up, whatever time you're waking up, then what happens is you're just feeling, oh God, what is this I have to do? You're so dull. You're lacking energy. There is no life in you. It is very sad to experience how people are today. That passion, the jest and the zeal is not there. Many years ago, as I was a kid, I used to visit my grandparents' place, in Chennai. Whenever I've been there, the summer vacation, 2 months, I would stay with them. It is the most happiest moment in my life. We would wake up, my granddad would every morning in a clockwork precision would wake up at a certain hour. That is like around 4:30 we'll wake up. And around 5 o'clock and 5:30 he'll say, you all have to be up now. Wake up, it's not time to sleep. Get up. And then he'll start his, he has a method. His life is well defined. He will offer, it was a tradition that was followed. The cow would come in the morning and he would feed the cow. He would feed the crows. And then he would, he would do his morning ablutions. He would go to the market every single morning, bring fresh vegetables. Then he would do his prayers. After prayers, he has his breakfast. And at a very precise timing, he would leave for his work. That was so beautiful. It was very divine. It was full of life. There was energy, that positive energy. And many years later, when I went to this place where my granddad used to live, of course, he's no more. And when I saw what has happened, it had all gone to ruins. It doesn't even exist. Why? Because there needs to be that one person who does things in a clockwork precision manner, consistently, in a very, very disciplined manner, so that that goodness, that life, that energy prevails. But what is missing today? We get up whenever we want. That discipline is missing. We don't follow a schedule. We do things haphazardly. There is no life in us because we're living in our mind. We're thinking, oh, what is going to happen tomorrow? What is going to be today? I have to go do this. Oh God, today I have so much work. My boss is going to ask me this. We're all very disturbed. We have too many things going on. We're upset about something. We're upset about what people say. Too many things has clouded our mind. So where is that ekagrita? That is why you have to take out time. So he's saying that the yogi has to go in seclusion to all by himself. That, we say that me time, this is what it means today. You have to take the time out to sit in a secluded place and practice little bit of this meditation, so that you are able to control your body, senses and mind. That is the reason why Lord Shri Krishna is teaching this to Arjuna. How does a yogi attain the divine Lord through dhyana? How does he attain that yoga? Union with the divine Lord through meditation, that is dhyana. That is why he's saying dhyana yoga. So what does it mean? See, there are different methods. He taught about Sankhya yoga, he taught about Karma yoga, he's also teaching about Dhyan yoga. Dhyan yoga is very important. Why? Because you have to learn to control your mind, body and senses. And your thoughts are very important. You have to learn to, become thoughtless. He used a word here, giving up the sankalpas, the thoughts of the world. You have to get rid of these thoughts of the world, which is constantly haunting you. And here he's saying something very beautiful. He used a word called fearless. A man lives in fear. Yesterday I was watching a beautiful documentary. It is about a person called Nirmal. I forgot his last name, I'm sorry. He goes by the word NIMS. And he ventured into a project. He named the project called Project Possible. He's a mountaineer, and he has also worked in a British army. He's a Nepali, okay? He's from Nepal. Now, this person took it to himself that why is that we are the Sherpas who live in the mountainous region, who have helped all these great, people who come from Western world to climb Mount Everest, and, they want to go and, reach the summit, they want to be the ones who climb the mountain and reach the summit. It's a craze. It's kind of your passion. So they prepare to go through all that. But without the help of a Sherpa, who's the person who lives in that mountainous region, who's the one who's going to be a guide to them, to, guide them through all the obstacles and navigate the path, who helps them in navigating through that treacherous path, the uphill climb. It's not an easy thing at all. Now, the person says, we are the ones who are responsible for them to, climb the summit. But why is that we say, why is that our name is not being recognized? Which is a fact. That is a very valid statement. If not for the Sherpa, if not for the guide, you wouldn't have been able to climb the summit. Likewise, an example. Without my Guruji, without him teaching me and imparting this beautiful scriptures, and without his blessing and grace, I will not be able to sit in this seat and expound to you, no matter what it is. It is the words of my Guruji's wisdom. So how can we not acknowledge him? So this person, he goes by the name called NIMS, N-I-M-S, okay, Nirmal, NIMS. And he said, no, I need the world to know that it is because of us Nepalis, the Sherpas, that people have been able to reach that goal of theirs. So he said, I will, take it to me. He came up with a project possible, because he said he will climb all the 14 tallest mountain in the world in 6 months. That's 7 months time he gave himself. And it's not just that, right? He's going to, every mountain is beyond 8,000 meters. Height. That's like the tallest mountain in the world. So these were the 14 mountains that he was going to climb. The whole world, discouraged him. They said it is not possible. And that is why he named his project as Project Possible. Because he believed it. Yes, I can do it. And the whole world discouraged him. Even all those great climbers from the Western world said, oh, that's not going to be possible. There was one Westerner who took how many years? 16 years to climb. Why? Because he had his strategy where he's not, if anything is above 8,000 meters in height, then they will above 8,000, after 8,000 meters, then he will use the oxygen. But before that, until 8,000, he's not going to use the oxygen. So that was that individual strategy, and that's what he did. But in case of NIMS, he said, I am going to use oxygen, but I'm going to be able to climb this 14 mountain. I'm going to touch the summit in 7 months time. So he came up with phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, and that was very impressive. But the whole world said no, it's not possible. When others have not done, you can't do it. So they said it is next to impossible. But he said, no, I can do it. I believe that I can do it. Why should the world discourage you? Tell me. Why? Just because somebody else has not been able to achieve, does it mean that other person should not try? So, people said, we don't believe in that you will be able to do. So he didn't get funding. And you know what this person ended up doing? He went and mortgaged his house because he believed he will be able to do. He had a team, they were the Sherpas, and he had a team of people with him. And he said they all supported him, and they said, we will make Nepal great. We want to make our country great and our race great, because of us, it's why people from the world come here and they climb this mountain. If we are not the ones who are going to navigate the mountain, how will they climb and how will they be named in this world? So this was his valid, goal, and he made it a life goal for him to accomplish this, and he went on the journey. It has not been easy for him. So first he was going to do the mountains within India, that's Nepal, and then Pakistan, and then he was going to the China, in Tibet. And of course the weather conditions, you don't know what can come up, right? But yeah, until he was able to go through his phase 1, phase 2 very successfully, until the phase 3 came up, when he wrote for permission from the Chinese government, they declined it. They said, no, we will be shutting the mountain, it's not going to be open. And then the one mountain, and which he had planned, which he is going to do it together in the Tibet, that they said that it will be open for only 1 week, and then later, by the time he's going to arrive, it's going to be shut off. So he had to finish the other mountains, which is in Pakistan, which was the most dangerous mountain. It's called the K2. It seems nobody have ever made it to the summit over there, but he was able to accomplish. What made him do that was his passion, his belief that I have to achieve this for the people. It was not his goal alone, personal goal. He wanted to do it for the people of the Nepal who have been not recognized. So for him, that feat was so important. You need a lion's heart. It's not an easy thing. You have to be trained, and imagine what kind of a practice you have to go through. You have to have endurance, and you need to be able to, your body has to go through all that endurance training. You need to have a very good fitness, because you need to be able to face any kind of, the weather conditions. It snows, it's going to be very cold. How will you go through all that path? It's not easy at all. But he believed, and he was able to achieve that along with his team. And as a leader, he never gave up, even though sometimes he did fear. Fear comes in you. Am I doing the right thing? What happens if I don't survive this? What happens if I'll not be able to get there? And everybody is, trying to discourage him. Even despite all that, the whole world discouraging him, not giving him funding, he made his dream come true because he believed in himself. And that is called being fearless. Why should you fear? Fear is the only reason why you will fail in life. If you start anything on the basis of that fear, then your foundation is very weak. And that whole building, the temple will crumble and fall. Why should you go on the basis of fear? Trust in your gut, trust in your instincts, trust in what your heart says and believes, and go ahead in the mission. But you need to also, along the path, have the right team with you. Because if you don't have the team who believes in you and the mission, then you're going to fail. Please remember, it's not about you, but you also need the people who are going to believe in that cause and the mission, which will make it a success. And this man finally was able to accomplish. So with Chinese government, when they declined his request for permission, he used all his influence through going through the different channels. He talked to the Nepalese government, he approached different officials, he approached the public support, everybody. Then everybody wrote to the Chinese, requesting them to allow him to, do this. And finally the Chinese government agreed. So the universe works magic. When you put in that hard effort, hard work, arduous effort is what is required. And in that period, the worst part was his mom fell ill. Imagine she was undergoing a very critical condition. She had a heart attack and the doctor said she will not survive. But that mother of his did survive, and she told her son, do this for me, go and win. And she survived till her son accomplished his goal. And once he came back, is only then she left her body. That is called that spirit of saying, no, I want this to be happening. I want to make it happen. See, the whole world may say it's impossible, but it's for you. You believe it is possible, so go after it. It is not about the world, it is about you. How much faith you have in that cause of yours will ensure you will reach that destination. But the path is going to be treacherous. It's going to be very difficult. It's an upward hill. It's uphill climb. And there can be a lot of different things that you will encounter. Are you going to get deterred or fearful at that moment in time? No. So what is Lord Shri Krishna saying? We need to become fearless in our life. So I gave this story only to tell you how you can achieve anything that you dream only when you believe in it and you work what I mean is you have to put in arduous amount of work. You have to work extremely hard. It's only through hard work, sheer hard work. You're not going to get anything easy there. It's not saying, okay, I'll do one day, I will not do another day. It doesn't work like that. You have to put in your efforts. You have to be consistent. Consistency is what is required. And if we don't have this disciplined approach, we are not going to be able to make it. And some of these Westerners said he had his strategy and he made it. And they said, we bow down to him. We salute him. That's what he earned. When the whole world said it is not possible, even the experts in mountaineering have actually commended, have appreciated and have said this is a feat which is next to impossible, but we bow down to this man, to his grit and determination. That the lion's heart is what they said. The whole world was watching him and he made it. That is what you have to. And then what next? Doesn't mean we have to then stop and okay, we have to live on the laurels that we have received. No, we have to move on. So you have to then increase. What is the next bigger goal you're going to achieve? It's not the end of the world, right? And imagine the people who supported him throughout his family. His wife was a biggest strength. And she said in her interview, during this whole period, it was very stressful. I even had a lot of gray hairs because I wasn't sure that my husband is going to be back or something is going to happen to him. You're living in the stress and there's no communication, right? You're completely lost out of contact. And then what happens? The person is also worried. But she said, no, I believed in him. I know he will do this. That is what is called faith. But yeah, fear drives us. But don't never allow fear to come in your way. And you know what he said, the nymphs? He said, the one thing that I don't have is fear. I'm not fearful of anything in life. I'm fearless. I'm not afraid to die. But I want to accomplish this mission. And while I'm accomplishing this mission, if I die, it's fine. But I don't want to be the one to give up and then die. So he was very clear. So fear is what you should not have in your life. What is the worst that can happen? You can die. So what? But at least you made it there. That is the strength you need to have. So today, the world needs people like this. This is the kind of qualities we have to develop in us. And until we don't develop these qualities, how are we going to achieve anything in our life? We are going to be below average or very average people, average human being who are going to live a mediocre life. And then what? Across human beings' existence is what we are going to have and then die. But nobody will know you. But today this man he broke 6 world records in the mountaineering field. Imagine, that is a great glory. But the same thing, had it been achieved by Westerners, it should have been a big media publicity. But today this man is not known to too many people. But you must go and study about him. It will inspire you. What does it take? See, this man didn't get it easy, but he made it possible. That's why he said project possible. So make in your life everything possible. That ability to make it possible rests with you alone. It doesn't rest with anybody else. And that is why this sadhana is important, that you should be able to control your body, mind, senses. And once you have them in control, then you're able to channel that energy, that strength, everything in the right direction so that you can be successful in this world. So first is you have to gain that control and be chaste, and fearless. Become fearless. There's nothing to fear. Why should you fear? Life is beautiful. The divine Lord is always there to take care of you. He is everybody's karta dharta, means he's the one who's going to take care of all of us. So have faith in him that he will do the right thing for me in my life. I have to do my part of the deal. God helps those who help themselves. First you have to help yourself for God to help you. But if you don't do anything, how can you expect miracles? See, here also Lord Shri Krishna is teaching Arjuna, but it is for Arjuna to go and do these things. Arjuna is the one who has to lift his bow and arrow and shoot. The Lord is not going to be fighting the battle for him. And this is the truth you need to understand. Keeping himself perfectly calm and with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me, the vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. So what is the Lord saying? He's teaching a method. How do you bring that mind, body and senses under your control? So keeping himself perfectly calm, you need to be very calm. See, our mind is always constantly agitated, disturbed, and it is in a turbulent condition. Why? Because it's thinking too many things. There are too many things going on, and that is also because of one very important reason called fear. Fear of uncertainties of the future. What is going to be tomorrow? I don't know. So what can happen to me? What is going to happen? I don't have a job. Will I get a job? Where will I get a job? I've been applying. I'm not getting an interview call. What is going to happen to me? Where am I going to pay my EMIs? What my old parents are there? The thoughts are so turbulent that it doesn't allow you to sit peacefully in a calm state of mind. It doesn't. It's too much, and then what happens? You're unable to focus, and you're not focusing. Forget about unable to focus sitting in meditation, but you're not able to focus even in things that you're doing. The job that you're doing, you're not focused even in that. Why? Because your mind is constantly chatting away to glory. It's making you even more fearful of the uncertainties of the future. So why do you bother? We don't have to bother about what is there tomorrow. Live today. Live this moment. Let me tell you what my Krishna Guruji taught. A very beautiful lesson. It was a very powerful lesson which hit me. I don't know. I can't express how it hit me hard. It was a life-changing thing for me. He said, we buy stuff, we save it for some day to wear. We think there is a special occasion that I have to celebrate something. I want to wear on that day this sari that I bought, or I want to eat this. There's a tomorrow. Some day we think I have to eat this, I have to make this, I have to do this. Everything is tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. He said, who knows what is there in that tomorrow? Today you have the opportunity. Live now. There is no tomorrow. This is one truth which we fail to understand. My Guruji said, what? Today you have this God-given opportunity. Tomorrow this opportunity will never come back to you ever again. At that time, are you going to live in regrets? You should never live your life in regrets, thinking that I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have eaten that. I wish I could have worn that. We should never live our life in regrets, but live it now. You want to eat something? Make it and eat right now. You want to wear that beautiful dress of yours? Go wear it and enjoy. Celebrate yourself, because this is the beautiful moment. This is priceless. There is no tomorrow, and this is what people don't understand. We save for a day that we don't know will ever exist. A stupid example. Many years ago, I bought some clothes, which I said, no, I will save it for a better occasion. I want to wear it for my birthday this year, that year. You know what? I actually outgrew those clothes. I can't fit in them anymore. But what happened? I couldn't live that. My desires left unfulfilled. But who is the fool? I was the fool, because I believe that there is a tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. It is here and the now. Live in this beautiful moment that God has given you, that health, good life. You have that ability to eat whatever that you want to. So, eat in moderation doesn't mean that just because you have the ability to eat, you can eat whatever you think you can. No, you have to do everything in moderation. That is what I meant. Live now, but do things in moderation, which will then make you a very peaceful person. You will not live life in regrets. You should not have any regrets that I didn't do this. I wish I could have. Imagine you wanted to enjoy some things with your parents and you think, I will do it some other day. That time will never come back. And then maybe your parents themselves don't exist. Then what happens? Are you going to live your life in regret? I wish I could have done this with my mother. I wish I could have said this to my dad. I wish I had told him how much I love him or love her. I wish I could have expressed it to my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my guru, my God. I wish I could tell my God, my Guruji, I want to tell him how much I love him, how much I want him to know that, he means the world to me. Why can't you tell now? Tomorrow he might be gone. And then are you going to rue that? That is what you should not. Don't live your life in regrets. Live it to the fullest of your ability, God-given ability. So do it right now. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is what will cost you very dearly. And this is something we forget in our life. And we run after things that is not going to give us anything. We try to build a beautiful house so that we think we are going to live a very happy, married life with a beautiful family. No. Please remember, we don't know what is in store for us tomorrow. So why are we thinking that there is a tomorrow that is going to exist the way we have planned? That is why it says man proposes, God disposes. Doesn't mean God is bad. What it means is that you have come with a certain predefined destination and you always dream about things that doesn't exist and you don't know if that is there tomorrow or not. Yeah, dream you must, okay? But to make it happen, you have to work hard. It doesn't come easily. You can't just keep dreaming and think that there's some magic going to happen. There is no magic actually. What Lord Shri Krishna's teaching is about, you have to make that magic happen. For that magic or miracle to happen, you have to work hard. So Arjuna, lift your bow and arrow and shoot. That is what Lord Shri Krishna is teaching here. And then what is he saying? And with the mind held in restraint and fixed on me. So fixed on me. When you fix your mind on me, I will, help you evolve. You will attain yoga with me, union with the divine Lord. The vigilant yogi should sit absorbed in me. So when he do this, then you will attain that God realization, and as well as you will be able to control your mind, body and senses, and it's not going to bother you when you have to perform your duties in the most selfless manner. So let us continue. Thus, constantly applying his mind to me, the yogi of disciplined mind attains everlasting peace consisting of supreme bliss which abides in me. So where is this bliss that you want to attain exist? It exists in the divine Lord alone. He's very clearly saying, Lord Shri Krishna is very directly saying, it is only in me. When you meditate upon me, when you do exactly what I'm asking you to do, that is when you will be able to attain. So he's saying, thus constantly applying his mind to me. What is he saying? Constantly applying his mind to me. The yogi of disciplined mind. The yogi of disciplined mind. So what is it you have to discipline? Your mind. It's not just your mind. Your body has to be disciplined. Your mind and then your senses. But if you don't discipline your mind first, how will your body get disciplined? Because it is your mind which is telling, no, it's okay, you're very tired, please sleep. So your body says, oh God, okay, fine, I'm going to sleep. My mind has already said to me, how tired I am. So what happens? Your mind becomes indisciplined and your body goes into that indisciplined state as well. So no way you're able to get up. So where is this mind? Can you ever point out where is the mind? Mind is it's a very devious creature. It's an invisible creature. The mind exists from head to toe, by the way. So your mind is telling your body, you're very tired, go to sleep. The mind is there from your head to toe, means all over it's there from head to toe. It's there in all parts of your body. It exists everywhere. But you can't catch it. But something is telling you, oh go, I can't get up today. I'm tired. I have this body pain. I just cannot get up. Then what happens? Then you go for a toss. You become indisciplined. It's very easy to become indisciplined, but it is very difficult to become disciplined and consistent. Consistency is one very important lesson which we have to practice. That one quality is what determines how you can become successful in your life. So you have to really strive to practice. So Lord Shri Krishna is saying here, thus constantly applying his mind to me, the yogi of disciplined mind. So when you constantly applying his mind to me, so when you fix your mind on me, meditating, then the Lord, helps you to become, your mind to become disciplined. Attains, what do you attain? Everlasting peace, consisting of supreme bliss. And where is this supreme bliss found? Which abides in me. Oh wow, it abides in the divine Lord. He's very clear. The supreme bliss is only abiding in me. So when you achieve him, that is when you are one with the divine Lord, then you achieve the everlasting peace, which consists of the supreme bliss, that eternal bliss, which is permanent. There's no way you can get out of that state, and which is only found in Lord Shri Krishna alone and not in anybody else. No other God can ever give you this. That is the truth which Lord Shri Krishna has mentioned here. So we have 5 more minutes. Let us continue one more verse. Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats. Oh my God, okay. He has now, there are disclaimer. Who can practice this yoga? Let us learn. Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats nor for him who observes complete fast. It is neither for him who is given to too much sleep, nor even for him who is ceaselessly awake. That is something very interesting he's telling. Who is this yoga for? Arjuna, this yoga is neither for him who overeats. Have you seen people eating constantly too much? There is no the word moderation doesn't exist. If they like something, they will take two servings, 3 servings, 4 servings. They'll eat too much. Excess eating is not allowed. So you can't overeat as well and then sit in the meditation. You're trying to meditate on the divine Lord. You're going to fall asleep. You're not going to be able to meditate at all. Nor for him who observes complete fast. These are extreme conditions. People, have you observed people who fast also? They will say whole day I'm not even going to drink water. But tell me something, you make this person sit in meditation, do you think he will be able to sit? Of course not, because his stomach is saying I'm hungry, his body is deprived of food. And then he's fasting, so his body is craving food. So how can your mind ever be in meditation on the divine Lord? It is next to impossible. That's why in Marathi there's a saying, Sai Baba says, Ati potoba, merg vitoba. Means what? First you have to fill your stomach. Once your stomach is filled, not overfill it, overeat. That's what he's saying. Sufficiently filled. Once you have given your body that food, then it's not going to be thinking. So once you eat in moderation, the sufficient amount of food that is required for your body, it is then not going to think about food. So it is able to focus on meditation alone. And then it says, it is neither for him who is given to too much sleep. Have you seen people who sleep for so many hours? They're always lethargy. And if you ask them to go and meditate, who are given into too much sleep. So when they sit in meditation, they're actually falling asleep. They can't even concentrate for 2 minutes. So you're not doing yoga, you're actually doing nidra. Sorry, you're actually doing sleep. You're going to sleep. You're falling asleep. So there is no point, for you to sit in that meditation because you're not going to achieve anything. So a person who is always given to too much sleep also cannot do this yoga. And then not even for him who is ceaselessly awake. And there is one other kind of extreme people who will not even sleep. They're always awake like an owl even in the night. So what does he tell you? You have to do everything in moderation. There is a time to eat, there is time to sleep, there is time to be awake as well. And you have to have sufficient amount of sleep, sufficient amount of food. And with all of that, having done everything in moderation, only then can you practice this yoga, not otherwise. So this yoga is not for these kind of people who overeat, who sleep too much, who sleep in excess, or who fast ceaselessly, who have given to fast, who observe complete fast, and then who are also ceaselessly awake. They can't sleep at all. So these kind of people cannot practice this yoga. Lord Shri Krishna is very clear. I hope you understood this. So what does it tell you? To summarize, what he's talking about is you have to, follow a disciplined life. There is a method, which means you have to eat in time, you have to eat in moderation, you have to sleep at certain time, you have to sleep for certain hours, you have to wake up in certain time and do things in time. And everything has to be done in moderation alone. You can't be an extreme personality, you can't be an extreme individual. Extreme habits are not allowed. That is what Lord Shri Krishna has imparted. So with that, we will stop here and continue from verse 17 onwards in our next satsang. Thank you for joining the Bhagavad Gita satsang, the way of life as described by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunatha Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.